Hey, this is Rick with Flood Rescue Academy. This is Urban Disaster Preparedness video number 3. Today we're going to talk about basic first aid. Now, keep in mind, if you want more information on treatment of wounds, things like that, shoot me a private message. If I get enough votes, I'll do more of an in-depth thing. But remember, we're talking about preparedness. So first off, first aid kit. All right. I have first aid kits everywhere. I got one in my car. It's the one for my car. I've got one stashed in the house. I even carry one in my gym bag because I was actually the guy that actually needed it at the gym, so maybe I'm just accident prone. So, a couple things to talk about. We'll get to the kit here in a minute, but remember, we're talking about disaster preparation. So in addition to medical supplies, don't forget, if you're on prescription medications for whatever reason, stock up on those in advance. If you only got 2 days left, but you got time to go get that, let's get that done. Depending on the type of medication you're on, they're not always the easiest thing to get. So don't wait until something's gone wrong, okay? More often than not, we've got a heads up that something's coming. Weather-related event, so get that in advance. Especially if your medication is basically a life-saving thing. So if you're allergic to something, you don't have your EpiPen, keep in mind when you call 911 on an icy road, we may be a little bit slower than normal getting to you. So don't leave your life-saving medications out of pocket and then all of a sudden you need them and you can't get them. So prescription medications, let's get that done in advance. Second thing, over-the-counter medications. Okay, this is gonna sound really silly, but we may end up eating food that's not normal for us. Okay, so Tums, and again, Imodium, hey, it's funny till it ain't. So don't forget those two. Benadryl is good for mild allergic reactions, or, you know, everybody's just kind of antsy, having trouble sleeping. Benadryl is good for that too. Pain relief, Tylenol and or ibuprofen. Don't take them both at the same time. If one doesn't work, alternate it with the other one. Just give yourself 4 hours in between those doses. Okay? And then Aleve is also another anti-inflammatory pain reliever. Just get all that up there. It's never a bad idea. Your immune system may be a little bit down. Let's start taking a little bit of extra vitamin C. The good news about vitamin C, you can take it in pill form. It's chewable, however you want to do it. Now, don't forget the kids. They don't like pills, they like liquids. So stock up on both types, liquid medication, pill form medication. The good news is a lot of this stuff, you can go to your local Dollar Tree and get a lot of this just dirt cheap. So that's that. So now let's talk about basic first aid, okay? So I'm gonna open my kit. Now keep in mind, this is what I throw in the car, but also keep in mind there's some stuff I'm gonna mention you should have in your kit that's not in this kit because my car never leaves home without my SAR pack in it. That's really where the real first aid is at. So I'm gonna kind of go along here. All right. Never hurts to have a set of tweezers. There's some other stuff this kit actually came with before I got my hands on it. Cotton balls, yes. Believe it or not, shocky patient, get a couple of those small survival blankets. This is the fancy one. I was having one of those impulse buy days on Amazon. If you want the link to this, it actually came in a really cool pack of 3. Just send me a message, let me know. Don't die in the woods, emergency blanket. You can get the cheaper ones. I got a pack of 10 at the same time. When it comes to bandages, okay, the gauze wrap type bandages, I don't like those because they don't cinch down as well and you can't reuse them. So I like what they call the ace wraps, the ones that are made out of fabric, okay? They come in a lot of different shapes and sizes. So standard something to clean the wounds with, I can actually get this from here and there, but the best thing to do is get you some hydrogen peroxide, okay? Now, people are like, oh, in my day, my mom dumped rubbing alcohol on my wounds. Yep, my mom did the same thing. That's torture. Please don't do that to your people. Use rubbing alcohol. My camera lady is nodding very vigorously. No alcohol. Yes. Hydrogen peroxide. Okay, so some gauze pads, things like that. Just basic first aid stuff. You know, if you're worried about wound closure or things like that, if it's something minor, you can use steri strips. You can even use super glue. Just don't blindly use it. Learn how to use it. Okay, now that's the first aid kit. Last but not least, trauma tourniquet. Okay, first off, they come in plastic. Okay, take that plastic off, keep it like this. Okay, if you need this, you're going to need it in a hurry. Second thing is, get some training on how to use this. My EMS organization offers 2 excellent programs. One is called Stop the Bleed, and the other one's called Take 10 CPR. Part of your disaster preparedness, I highly recommend you look into both of those courses. They are free of charge, they're open to the public, and we offer them on a regular basis. Even with the COVID thing going, we just kind of spread everybody out, everybody puts on a mask, and we go to work. So again, Stop the Bleed, Take 10 CPR, Williamson County Emergency Medical Services. If you have trouble finding information on those classes, please let me know. But again, it's okay to leave the trauma tourniquet out of the plastic. A couple of our TAC guys, just to do a test, took 2 of these out, set them on a park bench, left them there for a year. They still work just as well. They were bleached a little bit white. They work just as well as they did. Now, as far as these go, I've kind of gotten into the habit when I leave the house, my first aid kit's in the car. This, no matter where I go nowadays, is in my back pocket. Because I might need it for me, God forbid, or worse yet, somebody else. But everybody talks about, hey, I'm taking my concealed weapon with me. I'm like, that's great. Take one of these with you too. So again, just to recap, let's get those prescription medications up to snuff. If we know something's coming, don't forget your over-the-counter medications. Vitamin C is a good thing. I've heard anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000 milligrams a day, just kind of boost your immune system. Good news about vitamin C, they make them in chewable tablets. They're actually kind of good. Basic first aid kit, you're looking at, you know, antibiotic ointment, put some of that in there. Hydrogen peroxide, don't use alcohol, remember? Peroxide good, alcohol torture. I use the ACE wraps, not the gauze, but get you a handful of just the 4x4s is what we call them. Little gauze pads in case you gotta trap something down. Tweezers, yes. Another thing that I didn't mention was if you've got to secure something, you know, they've got the medical tape out there, but remember, we're preparing for a disaster. Let's use something that's going to serve us multifunctional. Okay, so duct tape, yes. Gorilla tape, much better. 1 inch and 2 inch rolls of Gorilla Tape. If you're looking to not put an entire roll in your first aid kit, cut you a little piece of cardboard about that long, about that wide. Again, full disclosure, I was putting in spray and bed liner on our car today at the academy. Nobody mentioned, hey, wear gloves, that stuff's messy. Wrap you 2 or 3 feet of tape around that cardboard, stick it in there. It doesn't take up a lot of room. You don't have to use a whole roll of tape. That way you're not buying rolls of tape and sticking them everywhere you need rolls of tape. But again, if you got any questions, please message me. This is going to be up on all of our social media platforms for Flood Rescue Academy. One last time through Williamson County. It rang a minute ago. Well, I almost answered it too. Somebody left their phone on a park bench over here. We've been listening to it ding. You might be able to hear it in the background. But again, those 2 classes, Stop the Bleed, Take 10 CPR. Okay? Get everybody in the family that's old enough to understand what's going on through one of those classes. Good information to have. Carry one of these everywhere with you. All right, thank you very much. Stay tuned for the next one. Y'all stay safe, stay warm.